Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of the Singleton 18-year-old. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to my review of the Singleton 18-year-old. This is a single malt Scotch whisky from Speyside and it comes from the Dufton distillery. This particular whisky is aged in refill ex-bourbon and sherry seasoned casks. It retails for £100, it's 40% ABV and it's most likely coloured and chill filtered. Shall we find out what it tastes like? On to the whisky. So before I start nose and tasting, let's have a quick look at the colour. I would say that's like a russet, but as I said, it is most likely coloured. Let's start with the nose. Right, so I get dried fruits, like raisins, sort of sherry soaked raisins. I'm getting vanilla, getting a hint of cherry. There's some charred oak in there as well. There's some sweetness like icing sugar. And I'd say there's also some honey in there as well. Let's move on to the palate. Yeah, so this is light to start, then it's heavy on the dried fruits. There's definitely a strong wine influence with this. The sort of sherry seasoning that's gone on is definitely really noticeable in this. That sherry influence is really pleasant. I think it's not overpowering, it's not too drying either. But yeah, that's really what comes to the fore when you first have a sip of this. Let's have another sip. Yeah, so I'm starting to get notes of sort of barrel char, that sort of charred oak notes coming through now. There's the sweetness, the sugary sweetness from honey, that's coming through now. There's some vanilla as well. There is a little bit of dryness, which is probably from a combination of the oak and the sherry. But those sort of tannins are not overly drying though, but they are present. Let's have one final sip. Yeah, so I'm starting to get hints of like aniseed, like star anise, and there's also a little bit of pepper with this as well. In terms of finish, I'd say it's like a medium length. There's quite a bit of dry wood that lingers. The raisins, obviously that sort of note from the sherry influence is really quite prevalent and does linger, along with the sort of sugary honey and vanilla and a little bit of pepper as well. It really does linger for some time and is quite pleasant. In terms of value, well, as I said, this retails for £100 in the UK, and I would say it's quite bright for an 18-year-old, a little bit more sprightly than I was expecting. It comes across as slightly higher ABV, maybe 43%, and it is obviously heavy on the sort of red wine, sort of fortified wine, sort of sherry on the palate. But I think in terms of value, this, as I said, is £100. When you compare it to other Diageo malts like Talisker, which have shot up to 175, this is clearly a bargain. But is it really a bargain? Well, I had this on sale for near £60, and it's probably one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest, 18-year-old whisky from one of the sort of mainstream single malt producers. I think around the £60 mark, you'd be silly not to buy this. Even at 40%, it's very pleasant. But there are better whiskies out there, but you will obviously pay a premium for them. But I think this regularly sits around the sort of maybe £80-ish mark from most retailers. So it is often available at lower than its retail. So I think it is a bargain whisky, as whisky prices have shot up ridiculously in recent years. But I think you've got to be a fan of this style of whisky. It is quite sweet. The sherry influence is obviously there, but it isn't a sherry bomb, even for an 18-year-old whisky. You know, this might be a good gift for a beginner on their whisky journey. But yeah, it's definitely got its place, but it isn't for everyone. That 40% will obviously put some people off. But I think at the price it's at, especially, you know, the price it normally sits at outside of its retail price, I think it's good value. And yeah, if you get a chance to try this, it's definitely worth a go. Hopefully you found that interesting. If you've tried this, let me know in the comments. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if there's any other particular Singletons you think I should try, then please share that in the comments and I'll check them out. Hopefully you found that interesting, and hopefully you'll come back soon. Stauncher.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment? And please consider subscribing for more videos like this.